honesty, bravery, teamwork, or curiosity. Kiddies Corner is a delightful blend of fun, education, and imagination with catchy songs, interactive games, and heartwarming stories. Join Auntie Oni every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Voice of the People Television. Kiddies Corner, perfect destination for curious minds.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chiki Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello, peeps. My name is Yomi E. Adejumo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Utomi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stacey Benjamin, and this is Voice of the People TV.
I need you to keep it locked to VOP TV. See, I'm looking for good entertainment. You want to get good movies, good music, politics, talk shows, sports, and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are. That's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us, and you deserve to be killed. Scrap chat. Don't be killed, but watch it, or I'll find you, and I want you.
And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep it locked because I'm locked already, man, and it's money back guarantee. So you're gonna have a good time because I do.
And please keep watching VOP TV.
I won't want you actually. I beg you, subscribe, watch it. If not, whatever you see.
You better not touch that die because VOP is the plot.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome to the program. This is Newspaper Review. I am Moses Humphrey, and of course, we're getting into the papers now. I have Chukwuma Okoro with me. He's hosting and also analyzing on this show. And then Dele Fanimo joins the conversation as well. He's a public affairs commentator. Good to have you. And congratulations on that new piece, new baby. I'll leave that one. I'll leave that one. Joining us virtually in the course of the program, we have Ibrahim Momo, also Barrister Clem Agui, both gentlemen, one from Benin, one from Oka, will join the conversation as we look at the papers this morning. We'll let you know when they join the conversation. Now, this day newspaper is where I would like to start from. And the bold story here is on Benin coup. It says, Tinubu averted key security threat to Nigeria, says NGF. The writers to that one, Senate backs president, OK's deployment of troops to neighboring country. ECOWAS states nation's role in averting coup should be standard to safeguard democracy. We also provided logistic support to avert coup, France declares. And then we know the state assembly, the Senate basically have given their endorsement on Nigeria's involvement and troops on the ground in Benin Republic. Well, that's the big story there. That's the big story on the cover page of this day newspaper. Gentlemen, well, in the Punch says ECOWAS fears coup surge. Burkina Faso holds Nigerian soldiers. That's another issue there.
Yes, I like
11 Nigerian soldiers.
Yes, life of Nigerians. I would like to take it from the angle of the Punch. ECOWAS fears coup surge. So the leaders are gathering, not because they are interested in enthroning democracy, but because they are simply afraid they will be displaced from power. That is what it is. And when you hear ECOWAS say that, or the Governors Forum say, look, that Nigeria averted crisis in ECOWAS. I would like for you to take that headline again.
Averted crisis in Benin.
In Benin Republic. What the governor said. What exactly? I think it's from this day newspaper.
So,
Tinubu averted key security threats to Nigeria. Key security threat. When they say that Tinubu averted key security threats to Nigeria, I don't understand what they mean.
I think it's about proximity. It's Benin is just sharing borders with Lagos. And
okay. What about Niger? Are they not sharing borders with us?
Sharing borders with Niger. Okay. Wasn't it a security threat then?
You see,
I think it's all about regime protection.
Yes, I'm looking at it. This coup is just an extension of the resentment of the policy of assimilation of the French colonial masters. If you look at it, most of these coups are happening in French-speaking countries.
But they tried one in English-speaking and it failed.
That's what I'm saying, that the ones that have succeeded are around the French-speaking countries, and the whole idea is they're just waking up to the fact that if they don't do something, that they will perpetually remain slaves to these French colonial masters. But that does not mean that those who planned the coup in Benin Republic are also aggrieved. You see, how can you, midway into a match, change the rule? And most of the time, when they want to change the rule, leaders in Africa, they will first of all start dealing with opposition. So that when they are about changing the rule, nobody would raise eyebrows. You want to change, I think 5 to 7 years is what they are tinkering with in the Republic of Benin, the tenure of the president.
Yes.
When it's almost time for the president to exit, so you are not giving him another 7 years, of course there will be resentment. And most military officers, they latch on resentments such as this for them to strike. They are not striking for altruistic reasons, but they are also looking at gaining power. Some of them have tasted power. That's why when Obasanjo came into government, to preserve his tenure, in government, he made sure that he sacked everybody that has tasted political power, either as ADC, either as governor, either as PA, either as head of agency, that have tasted power beyond the barrack culture. He removed all of them from service. So by and large, they prepare this opportunity for the soldiers to strike in all of this. And what are they preparing? They prepared as a result of bad leadership, as a result of not considering the future of the country, but the immediate future of that leader and his family. And when you have that, there will always be resentment. And so the only way to stop this is to provide good leadership. Human beings are easy to govern. Once you give them the basic needs, nobody cares where you come from. Nobody cares who you are. Just govern. And when it's your time to leave the space, leave. How can somebody be in government for 42 years and he's just been sworn in for another tenure? It's as if it's his personal estate.
Okay, well, let's look at some other reaction from some Nigerians here. Professor Wale Soyinka has said he has condemned the military intervention in Benin. And then the headline says, Lagos demolitions. Femi Falana, SAN, has also condemned, he has said he has warned, the report says that he condemns Nigeria's military intervention in Benin Republic, warning that Nigeria's democracy is at risk if political pluralism continues to shrink under the current administration. We have Barrister Darlington joining the conversation, and the gentlemen that are joining us virtually. I'm talking about Barrister Clement Gui and Comrade Ibrahim Momo have also joined the conversation. Good to have you, gentlemen. Barrister Darlington, let me come to you now.
My pleasure once again. What you are talking about, democracy and shrinking of that particular concept in Nigeria, it was what was foretold, but people will refuse to listen. Moses and Okoro, please. If there are people that identify with certain character and certain idiosyncrasy, and when you see them embarking on a project, you know the end, because this person, this is what he's known for. This will be the outcome of what he's talking or what he's doing. And so when you see such a thing, especially when you saw what happened in Lagos, what do you think will now happen if that person now tell you he's the father of democracy? Will you believe him? We told you people here what is going to happen, but nobody took us serious. Now, who is right and who is wrong? As I'm talking to you now, 26 governors are inside APC. 2/3 of the Senate are all APC. Go to the House of Reps, the same thing. So, without being told, where do you think we are going? Tell me. Where do you think we are going with all this happening now? You mean if tomorrow the inevitable happen, then somebody will say, we never thought it could be like this, so we thought it was this. You already know. Because when somebody is embarking on a trip like this, you know where he's going. Anybody who does not like opposition, who does not even support opposition in his life, can never be a Democrat. It is not possible. What we are heading to now is what everybody is already, but nobody wants to say it, and nobody wants to stop it. It's like a moving train. You cannot stop it. APC will tell you that they are joining on their own. Are you serious? Fubara went to discuss with you just 2 days ago. The following day, he entered.
Are you saying that we are heading towards a tenure elongation?
Look, I have told you, did I not say it on our program yesterday? I hope this intervention in the Republic of Benin, because you know why the coup happened. It's not a quid pro kind of action. The man there woke up one day and said, instead of 5 years tenure, it is now 7 years. And after that, you can do another 7 years, making 14 years. And because of that, the radical boys in the military, so we don't want this nonsense. And then somebody went to go and rescue him. Meanwhile, you have the Senate that is now 2/3. And this Senate can do anything that comes from this executive. You and I know that.
They said it.
Eh?
The Senate
Good. So if tomorrow the inevitable happen, what will you say? Will you be surprised? Look, it is late to cry when the head is off. You see, this is that going gradually. Nobody checkmating it. It will end up somewhere. And I wonder what anybody will say at that time.
All right, Comrade Ibrahim Normal. You are a political scientist. What would be your analysis of the events happening in Benin Republic, the coup, Nigeria's involvement, Burkina Faso, fighter jets forced to land or crash landed, I don't know, and then soldiers, 11 of them detained. The states in the Sahel, pointing fingers at Nigeria, registering their displeasure of Nigeria's involvement. And, all of these issues around Nigeria. Are you amongst those that are afraid that Nigeria's neighbors might one day point their guns at Nigeria? If that happens, what do you think Nigeria should do?
Well, for me, it's the dual fold. One is that on the background, this is not the first time we're having coups in West Africa, particularly Francophone West Africa. Within 2020 and now, we have had at least 7 successful and 2 failed coups. So there's this theory in military involvement in politics where we talk about the contagion effect. In fact, there's a coup belt. And their neighbors, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, it goes on like that. And of course, if you stretch it for that, you will see that you have seen coups in Gabon just last year here. And then earlier we have seen in Guinea-Bissau. And there was an attempted coup in Guinea. So it is nothing, there's nothing, for me, I'm not surprised that we have, particularly in Francophone, because if you understand the concept of the issue about Francophone Africa is the fact that even though supposedly they have independence, there is still the assimilation principle that ensures that those countries' central banks, if a sovereign country, their central bank is domiciled in Paris, France. And you are seeing also that they are forced to have a common currency, the CFA franc, which is tied to the French franc. We are seeing also the failure to have a united West Africa because of the efforts of France, in trying to create a distinction between Anglophone and Francophone West Africa. So, what happened in Benin ticks all the boxes. The idea of being a Francophone country, the idea of suffering from the assimilation principle, and of course that they are neighbors to other states within the coup belt. In fact, we have a alliance of Sahel states, who are all ruled by military men. 3 states all ruled by jackboot people who have taken power illegally. So that is the background. Nothing should be surprising to anybody when we have a coup in the Republic. It ticks all the boxes, yes.
No, Nigeria's involvement is what we are talking about now, and the grounding and detention of Nigeria's soldiers in Burkina Faso. Okay, now the second point, has to do with Nigeria's involvement, in issues around the coup, to stop it, to quell it, or whatever. And then we see that the violation of Burkina Faso airspace, illegally, it's a violation because they didn't get clearance to fly. No country's aircraft, particularly military aircraft, can fly over Nigeria without first clearing with our airspace management agency. Nobody can. So I think appropriately, that aircraft ought to have been grounded. And if they hadn't obeyed and they landed, it could have been shut down. And maybe it would not be an all-out war. So the reality is that my own challenge, which is my reality, I should say, my own challenge is the fact that Nigeria, which is supposedly, with all due respect, giant of Africa,
Nigeria's economy is actually about 50% of the entire ECOWAS region. Only Nigeria's economy. Nigeria's population alone outweighs all other countries in West Africa combined together. Nigeria is the big brother in West Africa and in Africa. But Nigeria is failing to live up to its billing. Nigeria is not leading when it comes to good governance. The challenges you are seeing that is leading to coups all over Francophone West Africa, Nigeria is not immune. Is Nigeria immune from widespread poverty? It is not. Is Nigeria immune from bad governance? It is not. Is Nigeria immune for disputed elections, which is the immediate circumstance that usually lead to these coups? It's not. So Nigeria ticks all the boxes, except that perhaps we have a culture, that the Francophone people don't have. Maybe we like to bear, we have a threshold for pain or for suffering, maybe. Okay. Or because maybe we are tired, because Nigeria suffered in the past repeatedly from military coup. So altogether, I think that it is failure of Nigeria. I put the blame on Nigeria. Nigeria's failure to show leadership in West Africa and Africa that is allowing for a ramping up of coup. And Nigeria is suffering. Nigeria is being battered now. Because imagine Burkina Faso is grounding our aircraft. Would Nigeria ground the US aircraft, even if they violate our airspace?
I wonder.
We can't ground it. If US fighter jets now violate our airspace, which is illegal in international law, will Nigeria have the temerity to ground the US aircraft? Nigeria will not.
You don't think so?
It cannot. There is power matrix. There are hegemons. America is a global hegemon. It is global superpower. Nigeria ought to be a regional hegemon. It's not ought to. Nigeria is actually. But they want it to be a giant. It's not to be a failing giant or a falling giant or a falling one. Nigeria is a giant that doesn't know itself. That is where I think we have a challenge.
Okay. Barrister Clem Agui, your response to this?
The team in the Republic, one might be looking at it from the point of view that, as some people have said, that Nigeria shouldn't have deployed military intervention in Benin Republic. But they quickly forget that Nigeria, ECOWAS was made up of originally 15 member states. Out of that 15 member states, about 5 are effectively under military rule, and there have been few attempts in at least about 7, of which Benin Republic is one, and it failed. And you see that ECOWAS is shrinking in size, and almost about 8 to 7 West African states are under jihadist threats concerning stability, and of which most of them look up to Nigeria to take a lead. Somebody will say, why didn't Nigeria intervene in Niger? Why didn't the president intervene in Mali? Why Benin Republic? Of course, he wanted to get approval to intervene in Niger, and the Senate said no. And this time around, it was Benin Republic that actually made a request as a sovereign nation, asking Nigeria for an immediate response and military support to enable them tackle their insecurity problem. It was a direct request, and Nigeria has 2 or 3 protocols on security with Benin Republic, even though it is not there is no clear-cut military defense protocol, but there are security protocols that we have signed with Benin Republic to assist each other security-wise, and I think it is under that framework that Benin Republic made that direct request from Nigeria to intervene, and Nigeria and the president was right in intervening. Apart from the fact that this is just our close neighbor and this is happening close to home, and if we don't intervene, it might spill over to Nigeria, because most coups you see in Africa are copycats. It's not as if these things are original. When you see that it's happening here, it wants to happen here. But the real question is, what are the real costs of these coups in West Africa that are becoming very rampant, that almost 5 countries are effectively governed by the military that beat the democracy is because of bad governance. It's because of the politicians emasculating the political space, like you're having it today in Nigeria. Somebody said Nigeria is not immune from what is happening in other countries in West Africa. And so it will not be unexpected if there's a copycat of the same thing that's happening in other places in Nigeria. What I think the Nigerian government should do is to feed the pulse of the nation, go back to the drawing board, and see how we make this democracy work, and not continue to suffocate and emasculate the political space. Because when you keep doing that, coupled with bad governance and weaponizing property, you are putting the military in a position to want to come in to say they are saviors. And then the people will look at them as saviors because they want to get out of the situation you have put them into. So my own take is that apart from the intervention Nigeria has made, which is legitimate because the Republic requested for that intervention as a sovereign, as a sovereign state, we should look at what are the causes of this coup and see how we can learn any lesson from it to make sure that our own democracy is thriving in a manner, in the way that our people will not.
I want to react. Yeah. All right, thank you very much, Clem. What I think is I'd like for us to, review what our comments and all of that. This coup that has taken place, or that tried to take place in Benin Republic, and the fact that we are trying to contextualize it within that it's more like a resistance to the French assimilation policy. And I think it's if we take that, it will be some kind of monocausal explanation for what the coup was. It might just be some form of coincidence. If you look through, it's a wave. It waves around at all points. You discover that at some point you had English-speaking West African countries experience coups. Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Ghana. It wasn't some form of resentment against British rule. It's as a matter of, bad governance within. That's one point I would like for us to make. Guinea-Bissau, by the way, is not French-speaking. It's Portuguese. They were colonized by Portugal and all of that. So, but it could be some form of, because Mali has happened, Burkina Faso happened, and Niger happened, or probably Benin will. But what I'm just trying to say is it doesn't offer, it will look like a monocausal explanation, which is not acceptable, in literature. Now, that said, I think what Nigeria needs to do, as a matter of fact, is to build Nigeria. Because this big brother syndrome is not working for us. If you are big brother, okay, you went to quell a coup there in Benin Republic. What happened in Niger? Clem said, because their president invited Tinubu, and that was why he went. And when he wanted to go to Senate, to Niger, Senate rejected. He should have gone to Senate. He should have gone to Niger, and within the frame of 48 hours, and now go to Senate. By then, the deed would have been done already. What Nigeria needs to do is to build Nigeria. The day is gone when we used to think that Nigeria is the giant of our, should play some kind of big brother role in West Africa. We have lost that, except we are trying to say, let us reinvent. Ghana is doing much better than us democratically. Ghana is doing much better than us economically. Companies are leaving Nigeria to go to Ghana. When NEPAD came, and there was this issue of where do we site NEPAD head office, South Africa took it from us because at that point we were a pariah. The other thing came, Africa came, we couldn't do it because we were wobbling. And Ghana took it. Head office of Africa is in Ghana. Microsoft left Nigeria to Ghana. A couple of big companies are leaving Nigeria to Ghana. So
WTO is intending to site an office in Aba. That's something.
In Aba?
Yes.
Oh, well, remember, because it's a trade hub. Because it's a trade hub. But they are intending to. I'm talking about people that have, institutions that have gone, So that said, I think Nigeria, we need to rebuild Nigeria first. That era of the trade concentric circle of our foreign policy from within Africa and the world, I think we need to make a reversal of it and face inward. Let us build Nigeria first. At least our economy moved from number 5 to number 4. That is from number 1 to number 5 or number 4. That should be troubling and concerning to us before we try to protect other people. Meanwhile, the people we are protecting, to ensure that there is peace there, we don't even have peace here in Nigeria. In some parts of the north, we are contending with terrorists who have become insurgents because they have taken swaths of land belonging to Nigerian government. So in some occasions, they even hoist their flag. And we are discussing sovereignty here.
Oh well. Well, let's talk about politics now. Politics in Nigeria. Well, some of us have lent our voices to these issues, but we have some joining the conversation that have not spoken about it. And Juguma, who now puts on the toga of an analyst, I'm sure has a view. So these are the headlines. The Guardian reacts to it. It says Fubara Adeleke's exit shatters embattled PDP. Dims 2027 hopes. Flipping, check out the riders to that. Party gave me nothing, says Rivers governor. Laments sabotage, betrayal. Fubara would have become former governor without Tinubu's support. Adeleke will retain Oshun under Accord Party. Aid vows. Turaki-led faction says Fubara's defection, self-inflicted injury. All right. And the Punch says PDP rages as Fubara joins APC. Adeleke shifts to Accord. Excuse me. And this day reports Fubara defects to APC, Adeleke to Accord. Rivers governor, I don't want to make any mistake this time. Osun governor, citizens, workers, welfare, my top priority. PDP chides Fubara, says he's a case of self-inflicted injury. Well, these are the headlines, gentlemen. I would like to start off with you, Comrade Ibrahim Momo. Well, it's an open conversation, but let's start off with you. Comrade Momo, do we still have you? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm talking now.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the challenge really is foundational. Political parties in Nigeria. It is my considered view, and people may disagree, that in Nigeria we do not have political parties. What we have are political contraptions, political special purpose vehicles. And so you could see, for example, several governors who were staunch enemies of the APC in 2020 general election started from the APC. Former Benue State Governor Samuel Otom, former Edo State Governor Gordon Obaseki, they were all both first elected under the APC, and then now moved to the PDP. Now look at the current Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, for example, who was once who was two-term governor, one-term deputy governor, and two-term governor under the PDP. He was elected twice as governor and once as deputy governor under the PDP. Towards the end of his second term, he moved to the APC, and now he's one of the strongest critics of the PDP. You come today, you are saying that in the South, for example, after 2023 general elections, there were 4 out of 6 PDP governors in South. I could list them. In Akwa Ibom, you had Pastor Umo Eno, it was PDP. In Bayelsa, you had Doye Diri, it was PDP. Cross River, yes, Basio 2 was APC. But when you come to Delta, Sheriff Oboriwori was PDP. And then Edo, yes, Monte Bukabolo was APC. And then Rivers, Sinalayi Fubara. So you had 4 of these governors of the PDP. Come December 10, 2025, just over 2 years later, you have entirely all 6 governors are now APC. It speaks fundamentally to the lack of ideology of Nigerian political parties and politicians. That is the first common thing, because when you talk about political parties, what distinguishes the Republicans from the Democrats, or Labour from the Conservatives in the UK, US and UK respectively? It is ideology. Where do they stand when it comes to immigration? Where do they stand when it comes to public education? Where do they stand when it comes to public health? And so you could come, this this one. So, but when you look at these are political parties, these things we call political parties in Nigeria, what is the difference with all sense of responsibility?
Okay.
What's the difference between PDP and APC?
Sorry for the question. I think it is, but thank you, Barrister Darlington.
Yes, I am not surprised with what is happening, because there was no foundation ab initio. You don't build on nothing.
Barrister, sorry, foundation of what?
Of these political parties. Is it not when you have a foundation that you can stand? Mm-hmm. So, because there was no foundation, that's why when they push them, they just jump.
Barrister, I don't want to counter you, but when you said there was no foundation, can we go back and trace the history of the PDP? from the G34. Wasn't that foundational enough?
You see, no, that's not the foundation I'm talking about.
So what foundation is that?
Ideological foundation upon which a party is founded. The moment that, because this ideology started from the mind. The mind is where the foundation is, not physical personalities. No. Your mind is where the foundation is.
In terms of ideology?
Yes.
Okay, the ideological bent.
And I have a good example. When Mandela was told by apartheid, please renounce this your whatever, come, we'll give you everything. The man said, you know, that South Africa must be free. He didn't say the blacks in South Africa. No, he said South Africa must be free. That was what he stood upon for over 27 years that he was there. And so when he came out, he maintained the same stand. I know some people who would have said, you apartheid, you dealt with me, or yeah, all of you white, or yeah, get out of South Africa.
Well, some people in the ANC said that. Some people in the ANC said
but
that.
the man, the arrowhead is Mandela stood his ground and said South Africa must be free. And today, that people, that minority white are the ones holding the economy of South Africa. That is one man's ideology. If the economy of South Africa was left in the hands of
one man's ideology cannot be the
Sorry?
ideology. One man's ideology cannot be the ideology of a political party. Now, what is when you talk about ideology and you say there was no foundation, PDP came into being as a result of what?
As a result that they want to remove the military from power. That is G34.
G34.
Midwife by Ekweme.
By Ekweme. Now, the members of the G34, were they like minds?
The thing is that most of them are gone. They are no longer alive. So
we are looking at the foundation. They were like minds and they had a purpose, which was what? Build a democracy. And they formed a political party. PDP wasn't alone. We had the AMPP at that point, which was more like a conservative. We also had other AD at that point.
Look, from what I've seen here, it's just that most people don't want to believe in this thing. In Nigeria, we don't believe in some of these these fetish things and all that. But I am beginning to think that there was a force that took over Nigeria from 2015. That force.
No force. It's just,
hold on, I'm coming, please.
It's no force. It's social dynamics.
That force took PDP by storm, and they went in disarray and couldn't gather themselves. It was not ordinary that PDP went the way it is after 16 years in office. It's not ordinary.
Barrister, I'm happy you said that Nigerians don't believe in these fetish things. That's why I'm telling you. It's just a combination of several factors, that led to the displacement of the PDP.
You and I will come to realize, because, like I told you before, there is somebody you know his antecedents. He cannot do things without indulging in such things, so you cannot remove it from him. So when the APC came with the way they came, I knew that something is wrong somewhere.
And the barrister, those one or two people were able to overpower more than 200.
That's what I'm saying. When you look, listen very well. Go and ask Ruben about it. Go and ask him. Go and read the demon in Astor Rock. Go and ask him what he remember, because this was a player. He knew what happened. Don't play with such things. So
Ruben was in Astor Rock during the tenure of the PDP.
That's what I'm saying. And
who planted that
and he told you what Jonathan went through in that place.
Who planted that demon?
Even Evil-Sheikh said that with the spell cast on Jonathan, there is no way anybody could have saved him. The pastor at Trem, Oshojoke, he said that all the pastors in Nigeria couldn't have saved Jonathan from what they cast on him. I have the newspaper, some newspaper, where these things were heading.
Barrister, the fact that Wole and one pastor said it doesn't make it right.
No,
it doesn't.
Listen, please. There are things you look at.
Okay, let's talk about the things that we can see on ground.
You know that this is not ordinary.
Let's talk about the ones that we can see on ground. Let's do the spiritual.
It is the spiritual that controls the physical.
Barrister, let's leave the spiritual.
So what I'm saying,
decisions that humans make is what controls their life and destiny. The decisions that they make. So let's talk about the things on ground.
You will make, like Ruben said, you have a good plan, but the environment will not allow you to implement it.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Okay, that's
the
what you are saying.
The environment is so polluted. Yes.
Okay.
I read that in story now. I read it. What they went through there.
Mr. Fanimo, let's have your reaction to this headline.
So when we talk about political ideology died with Second Republic in Nigeria. Action Group had 4 cardinal programs. I think free education, free and compulsory education, rural something. I can't remember the 4, but it's basically 4 cardinal programs. And so when the First Republic was truncated and when the Second Republic came, UPN inherited, under the same Awolowo, inherited these 4 cardinal programs. And at that time, political parties were under the leadership of the chairman and National Executive Council of each political party. AMA Akinloye, Adisa Akinloye, was the chairman of MPN. I can remember vividly that those days, Joseph Waya would come to Ibadan at Itutaba to meet Adisa Akinloye. Anything NPN wanted to do at that time, they have recourse to the national chairman and the party hierarchy. The same with UPN. All the governors, including Ambrose Ali of Bendel and Oyo, Ondo, Osho was not created then, all of them, they reported to the hierarchy of the party. And my grandfather showed me a card as a card-carrying member of Action Group, where they were paying, that even market women were paying certain token in support of the political party as at that time.
So they all had stakes?
They all had stakes. So in Fubara, I don't imagine somebody like Ajasin, Bola Ige, Ambrose Ali, Onabanjo coming around to say they are decamping on their own volition under a UPN. Even an NPN.
Well, Fubara cited, the abandonment he felt.
That's what I'm saying. I said, look, if you say abandonment, what we have today is a clear departure from what I was narrating. What we have today is the moment you become a chief executive of a state or at national level, the president, you become the owner of that party that you wrote on its back to get to that office. Such that the chairman of the party at state or national level is at your whim and caprices. Whatever you want is what you must want. And so there is no way you can have ideology in that instance. There is no way you can have proper party structure. And that is what is bedeviling political parties in Nigeria today. And we are not about getting out of it, because I don't know how political parties will be strong enough now to wrestle power from the people that are holding them by the jugular. And why they would not find it easy is because the political space has been heavily monetized. Who is that person that will be appointed chairman that will not be eating from the palm of the president or the governor of his state? So that is the problem.
All right. Okay. Barrister Clem, you want to go?
Yes, but let's go.
Okay, let's have Barrister Clem agree.
Yeah, the issue in question here has been analyzed by the people in the studio and the other people that have spoken.
Okay.
But you see, when people keep talking about ideology, I just ask myself, what ideology are we talking about? Is either you're talking about the capitalist ideology, or the socialist ideology, or the Marxist ideology, or the communist ideology. It has been proven that the socialist and Marxist and communist ideology has failed because they've all gone capitalists also and welfareists. So I don't even know what difference it makes between all the political parties. And when we keep talking about ideology, we have gone past the Cold War era. We've gone to the era where the world has become a global village. This whole thing borders on the characters of the people that are manning our political space and the leadership of those political parties to be able to reinvent themselves and come up with proper programs and come up with proper policies that can connect with the people. And then you are known for this. If, for example, APC has come up as a political party and we say this is the direction they want to take Nigeria to, it doesn't matter whether it is the same thing that PDP has said or not have said, but the programs might differ here and there, and the strategies might differ here and there. But it appears that there's no direction Nigeria is heading to. Everything is scattered. And that is why people are not seeing the difference, because you put Mr. A here, put Mr. B here, they're all like the same bunch of people without character, without purpose. That's what we're having in Nigeria. It's not about the political parties. The political parties is a name. Somebody once boasted that he wrote the manifesto of all the political parties on his table. I think it was Bola Ige that said that he wrote the manifesto of all the political parties, 5 of the political parties then. New ones has come up. We now have about how many political parties? About 17 or so. And many have been delisted. What has changed in their manifesto? But what is playing out in Nigeria is that we have bad characters. We have Yahoo politicians. And they go in there, forget about whatever they said is their manifesto.
Yes, I think Clem is right. I land my thoughts with that of Clem's, because I just looked up now. If you look at PDP has 4 main cardinal programs, which ties to an ideological bend. It talks about political stability and democracy. Economic development, this includes economic reform that support free market policies in terms of roads, rail power, and human capital and social welfare, accountability and justice, science and technology. These are the cardinal programs. Like Dele was trying to reel out the cardinal programs of the UPN at that time, which more like they borrowed from the action group. And when he talked about, the party structure, I think party structure is quite different from ideology. The party structures we have here now might be different from what we had back then. But in terms of people defecting, defection has, as far back as 1951, members of the Western, of AG, in one fell swoop defected. From members of the NCNC in one fell swoop defected from the NCNC to the action group to do what? To ensure that, look, a certain political party doesn't control the Southwest region. That was, if they were so firm in ideology, would they have done that? Because the ideologies were quite different at that time, which is more like what is happening now. So when we talk about ideologies, it's just political parties are just vehicles. It's just about the same thing, like Clem said. Nobody is talking about command structure economy now. Well, everybody is looking at laissez-faire, free market, but to what extent do you regulate those economies? Social justice, democratization, and all of that. I think that should be the focus now. And like I keep saying, what the political parties owe us, whether your ideology is what or what, you just ensure that the welfare of the people is paramount in your program. That's all.
All right.
And that was what APC promised Nigerians.
I wouldn't know.
Yes, they said it, that they are going to restructure, they will do this, they will do that. And people, believe that the messiahs are coming, only for us to land where we are now. Is that not enough to tell you that ab initio, these people never had any intention of government?
Well, there are a lot of other headlines I would have loved us to touch on, but see, when you have people with you have a full house and everyone has very strong opinion, it's difficult to go around. So there are other issues. I'm just going to put these headlines out there. TCN faces reps panel hinges instability on vandalism, gas shortage. Thief communities file 100 billion naira suit against Taraba government. Army over alleged forceful land seizure. Nigeria faces more shortage as Canada rolls out express entry for doctors. ECOWAS lauds Nigeria for foiling Benin coup attempt. Senate halts WAEC curriculum. Senate halts WAEC curriculum change over concerns for 2026 candidates. Insecurity has no religious undertone, Fagbemi tells visiting U.S. delegates. Aide accuses Cross River LG chairman of mismanagement, nepotism. And governors versus NNPC. Tension rise over alleged $42 billion oil revenue shortfall. NNPC. Governors, auditors trade blows over $42 billion under remittance accusation. FAC steps in, seeks review. That's from the Punch newspaper. And reps summon ministers over budget underperformance. And probe EFCC detains ex-AGF Malami. Well, these headlines are out there, and we'll have more contribution to these headlines in the course of the program here on VOP television. But I must say a very big thank you to everyone that has been part of this. Big thanks to you, Barrister Clem Aguyi. Thank you very much, Barrister Darlington Agumo. Thank you very much, Comrade Ibrahim Momo and Dele Fanimo, public affairs commentator. Not forgetting my colleague, Chukuma Okoro. And big birthday shout-outs. I got a message earlier in the day. Station manager, Benin Station, Godwin Kogos. We call him Kogos. I don't know if that's his last name.
Chukuma. His name is also Chukuma.
Oh, Chukuma. So, Godwin, it's your birthday today. He's celebrating his 54th birthday. So, congratulations to you. Happy birthday. I expect the cake to get to us in Lagos. We wish you the very best. But that's another show. Sports comes up next. That's at 11 o'clock. I'm Moses Humphrey. Have a lovely day. By the way, I makes a comeback later tonight at 6 p.m.
Yes, and I'll be joined by Dele Fanimo here. We are going to travel around Nigeria, to bring you interesting stories. Stay with us then. Join us again then.
All right. Bye for now.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
My name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People television, where your health has a voice.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and